So, good afternoon, students. The topic for today is parturition in case of farm animals, or you can say pet animals as well. So, let's start with the terminology. So, the term is parturition. Parturition is nothing but, as you say in case of humans, what you call is delivery. It is called parturition in case of animals. So it is a physiological process by which the pregnant uterus delivers the fetus and placenta from the dam. So this process is called as parturition. When the term is complete, term means gestation period is complete. So that time, due to some physiological processes, the dam expels out the fetus along with the fetal membranes, or you can say placenta. So this process of expulsion of fetus as well as placenta is called as parturition. So there are another two terms, one is eutokia and another is dystocia. So these are related to parturition only. Eutokia is nothing but what you call normal delivery in simpler terms. And if we look at the definition, it is safe, easy, natural or normal physiological parturition which is completed spontaneously without any complication. Without any complication means if there is any complication, it will affect the health, life or the productivity of dam as well as the newborn. So if there is no complication and the process occurs naturally without any intervention, it is called as eutokia, means normal delivery. Dystocia means there is some disruption or there is some, you can say, deviation from the normal process. So there will be difficulty in birth process, especially during first or second stage of labor, or you can say parturition. Just a few slides after this, I'll tell you what are the various stages of parturition. What is first stage, second stage and third stage. So when the parturition or delivery process gets prolonged, it becomes difficult or almost impossible for the dam to expel the fetus or to deliver the fetus along with the fetal membranes without any artificial interference. So then it is called as dystocia, which you can also call as troubled labor or troubled parturition or troubled delivery. Any of the term you can call it. So next comes the terminology. In various species, the process of parturition is termed different in different species. For example, in case of cow, the parturition act of parturition is called calving. In case of mare, it is called foaling. In case of ewe, it is lambing. In case of doe, means goat, it is kidding. Sow, farrowing, bitch, whelping, queen, kittening. If you see it, the terms, they are derived from the name which is given to the young one of the respective species. For example, in case of cow, the newborn or the young one is called as calf. So the term is calving. In case of mare, the young one is foal. So foaling. Accordingly, lamb, lambing, kid, kidding, farrowing and whelping are different, because in case of sows, the young one is called piglet, and in case of bitches, the young one is called pup. But the term is not pigletting or pupping, but farrowing and whelping. So you have to memorize these terms. ये तुम्हारे हमेशा काम आएंगी later on during your life, all the time. So let's read about the various signs of approaching parturition. When the term is complete in respective species, there are few signs which the animal shows that gives an indication that the parturition is approaching or is going to occur soon. So few days before or few hours before the process of parturition, कुछ क्योंकि there is hormonal changes in the body of the dam, so which lead to various changes in the body of the dam, obviously. The fetus is still inside the womb, so you won't be seeing the fetus, but you will see dam showing certain signs. I have not elaborated very extensively these signs because it is not very important for you. Once you will come in fourth year and you will read about obstetrics, then it will be very important to understand all the various signs of parturition. So for you people, just an introduction or in brief, it will be enough. So in all the species, there are changes in pelvic ligaments. Enlargement of the vulva is there, and obviously because the animal has to prepare itself, or the body of the animal has to prepare itself for impending this lactation to feed the newborn. So there will be development of the mammary glands in all the species. It occurs in all the species because there will be milk production after parturition, or due to parturition there will be milk production, and obviously the mammary glands will develop and they will start producing the milk for the young one. So because of all the hormonal changes, pelvic ligaments start becoming relaxed. They relax. There will be enlargement of the vulva because there will be increased blood supply, and there will be edema. Enlargement, you can say, not edema exactly, but yes, blood supply to the organs will increase. So in all the species, teats become swollen, and it is not necessary, but depending upon the milk production, the secretion may ooze out of the teat orifice. In case of mares, there is one very specific sign of approaching parturition. There are actually two very specific signs. One is waxing of teats, means there will be colostrum production, and this colostrum will be waxed or smeared on the teats. And if you see the teat canal, teat orifice, sorry, there will be a drop shaped, you can say serum-like structure, or any transparent kind of structure you will find at the tip of the orifice. So it happens, waxing of teeth happens 6 to 48 hours before foaling. There is individual variation always. And in polytocus species or litter bearing species, you can see, like pig, dogs, cats, they will show nesting behavior. They will start building nest. Nest is nothing, but they will isolate themselves, and in some corner of the house or any place they like, where they find some isolation, they will start collecting some, sorry, they will start collecting some newspapers or rugs of cloths, just to specify the area and to provide some, you can say, comfortable bedding for the new ones, young ones that are to be born later on after delivery. So in cattle and buffalo, if the animal is reared in large herd, so the animal will start seeking isolation. It will isolate itself from the rest of the herd. That is a good sign of approaching parturition. So while watching the animal, you can see that obviously you will be having an idea, or the farmer will be having an idea, that the term is going to complete on so and so day or during this week. So he or she will keep a close watch on the particular animal that has to parturate soon. So once these signs are shown, so the veterinarian or the farmer, they can be well aware of the impending parturition. So how this parturition gets initiated in the various species? So more or less the process, or the these, you can say, initiating factors, they are same. So it is the fetus always that triggers the onset of the parturition. Because with advanced gestation, the fetus size keeps on increasing. So a time comes when the fetus is large enough that its nutritional, or you can say its oxygen demand, it increases beyond the capacity that can be provided by the help of placenta. So that time, if the nutrition or the oxygen is not sufficient for the fetus, so it will lead to stress in the fetus. So with this stress, this fetal anterior pituitary, it will start secreting ACTH, which is adrenal corticotropin hormone, which will further this activate the fetal hypothalamo pituitary adrenal axis. And this is one very important factor for initiation of parturition. Say for example, there is some fetal deformity, or due to some congenital defect, there is some congenital defect in this either hypothalamus or pituitary or adrenal gland. So the process of initiation of parturition won't be there, or you can say it won't be that efficient, which may lead to dystocia or other complications of the parturition. So there are three different kinds of factors which are responsible for initiation of parturition. These three factors are: first, the physical factors, जो apparently दिखेंगे; दूसरा, biochemical factors which occur inside the body; and third is neuroendocrine factors. So when we talk about physical factors, as I have told you earlier as well, because with advanced gestation, the fetal size will keep on increasing. So this increase in fetal size will cause uterine distension. Obviously, the uterus will be distended due to presence of this fully grown fetus, and there will be kind of fatty degeneration of placenta, and there will be presence of infarcts in the placenta, because there will be changes in the placenta as well with this stress and all. तो इसकी वजह से क्या क्या इफेक्ट्स आएंगे? There will be increased uterine irritability, which will uh, uh, initiate, you can say, uterine contractions, and there will be reversal of progesterone block. There will be reflex to reduce size by, obviously the uterus will be distended, so the body's tendency will be to reduce the size so as to avoid the stress. So for this reduction in size of uterus, what the body will do, it will start some process, or it will start contracting, so that this fully formed fetus inside the womb or the uterus can be expelled out. Unless until this fetus is expelled out, uterus cannot be uh, shrunken in size, or you can say this uterine distension will remain there only. And with this fatty degeneration of placenta, what will happen? There will be interference in fetal nutrition, and it will lead to separation process of the fetus from the uterus. When the fetus has to be expelled out, there will be separation of the placenta from the uterine attachments as well. So another factor is biochemical factor. क्या होता है कि there will be increase in carbon dioxide tension in the maternal blood. क्यों? क्योंकि जैसे जैसे fetal size बढ़ेगा, fetus की activity बढ़ेगी. So with this respiration, जितनी उसको ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई मिल रही है, उतना ही वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड भी लिबरेट करेगा. So ये जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है, it will be released from fetal blood to the maternal blood. That is the only source of exchange of nutrients, or you can say gases.